We'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
Just to say, this is my favorite part of the agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed. Okay, another new thing on the agenda tonight that we're going to try out is, because of the public input, is we're going to have public comments, a 3-minute time limit per person, but only for items that are on the agenda. In other words, if there's any kind of ordinance or anything you want to talk about that's on the agenda, we'll take public comments right now. Now, we're also going to have our regular public comments after at the end of the meeting, or later on in the meeting.
I did have a question about the resolution in there.
I think you need to state your name first, sir,
Name, address.
and your address.
600 West.
Hey Dale, for the record, we need to have your home address there. I apologize.
It's 4462 South 600 West.
Thank you.
So on that resolution, it says that's to transfer appropriations to the end of the year. And the way the thing reads is that it's good for the treasurer to do that until the end of year 2022. So is this just covering something that happened in 2022? Or is this something that is really meant for 2023 and it's a
No,
typo?
this is for 2022, this is just me closing out the year.
Okay.
So what happens is that sometimes within a fund, one appropriation is over by a small percentage and the other is under, and that just settles that up. So it happens every year it's the same resolution.
So this is closing out the year, it's not really being done by the end of the year.
No, but you can't, not until at the end of, the beginning of the next calendar year, when you close out December of the year before. Does that answer your question, Dan?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we have, need to adopt the minutes of our January 18th meeting. Has everybody read the meeting, and is there any changes? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the January 18th, 2023 minutes.
I'll motion to approve.
Second that.
Is there any comment? Everybody that approves the meeting, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we don't have any old business, and one of the old business items we had was the food truck ordinance that Doug said he would have for our next meeting. And under new business, we have resolution 020123, a resolution of the Town of Palestine, Indiana regarding transfer of appropriations.
I'll move that we approve Resolution 020123 as presented in our backup materials.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I think the question's already
Yeah.
there, so I think we're okay.
All in favor of approving resolution 020123, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Well, we're moving along quick here. Bob, you're first up on the department reports.
Okay. Did you speak to Doug at all about, other than the last report, the fees or reports?
I know, did you send him anything, or?
I just told him, it'd be simple for everybody, if we just kind of have just a set fee and something simple, but I hadn't heard back from him, and I didn't know if you had heard back or not. I mean, no hurry, but if he's gonna be at the next meeting, just maybe send a reminder to him.
Okay.
I did, but maybe coming from you would be a little more important.
No, he didn't say anything about it.
Another thing, we're working on getting a quote worked up for the new emergency vehicle that we got coming in about April, May. So we're gonna work with Waymires, we work with every year, and hopefully we soon present with a quote to get that taken care of, get it ordered. So that'll be all the emergency lights, sirens, radars, and everything for the new vehicle. And we're looking at probably a mid-May to late May delivery on that probably.
Okay, Jim's not here tonight.
I have something.
Okay,
He gave me something, I didn't know, could be Steve as well, but Steve's not here yet, so I'll speak on both of them. The technical committee, for the MPO, usually that is, it's either Steve or I think Angie was on that commission on behalf of the town council. Jim wanted to know whether Angie wanted to stay on that, on the MPO commission, and if not, he wanted to make himself available for that. But since Angie isn't here, and Jim or Steve aren't here, I don't know if you guys want to make a decision on that, or whether, I don't know if that can wait, or if there's a due date on that.
yeah, that can wait.
That can wait?
Yeah. I'll wait for a long time.
Okay.
Steve's not here. I don't know if he had anything or not. From the last meeting, he gave us the up-to-date, on the, paving, so. And then, Yvonne is, next on the agenda.
Don't have a whole lot to tell you, I'm working on the end of the year stuff, we're about halfway done with the closing of the books. Probably would have been done yesterday eventually, but I took a day off out of my daughter's room, so, that's where we are, I don't have a whole lot else going on.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is public comments. And on these public comments, the ones at the beginning of the meeting, we're limiting them to 3 minutes each, and at the end of the meeting to 5 minutes on any topic.
Katie lives in 4529 South Brookline Drive. I had a couple things, but wanted to talk, I asked Randy about this, if we wanted to annex that subdivision, what do we need to do? Because they lowered the bar on the number of people that had to approve it. If I'm reading the, looked like Senate Bill 37 or 73 last year. So, what do we need, you know, I mean, a couple neighbors want to get that started, what do we need to do? What chamber hosts that? Brooklyn.
Between 550 and the library.
Oh, well, always our problem before on that was us having the money to extend service out there.
Well, the neighbors I've talked to, I know some of us that want to, but we're thinking about it sometime, not tomorrow, but sometime in the future, maybe helping in sewer and water. But quite frankly, I don't think anybody will sign it if we have to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Probably too expensive.
I don't know. Like I say, always the problem with that before has been the cost of doing it now. I don't know what the approval would be required for each homeowner, or, if it'd have to be unanimous approval, or,
Well, it's, statutes change, as she said. It used to be 100%, now it's,
well, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So this is, I've either lived in a town or in an unincorporated area, like on a farm or something, so. But if we annex us, other than our taxes going up, but if we don't want sewer and water at this particular time, is there a big cost for you guys to do that? Other than, I understand you gotta plat it, change all the administration and things like that, but what else are we talking about?
Well, putting the infrastructure in is a big thing, I would say.
What infrastructure?
For sewers?
I said we don't want sewer and water. That's what I'm saying.
You want to be annexed but don't want sewer and water?
I think some people would like to.
What would
do
be
that.
our advantage for that?
Oh, okay, well, that's a fair question. But the thing is, it's like whenever the people that want it, if they want to be the early adopters and they want to spend $40,000 on it, that's fine for their part of it.
Yeah.
But, that's what
We can find out. We can find out, but I can't give you we can find out, but I can't give you that answer tonight.
All right, so are you guys going to talk at all about what was in the newspaper today about that apartment complex?
I didn't see it today.
Either.
One is something to find what high quality is. It's,
Well,
why the town would be interested in financing a private, if you guys aren't gonna have ownership in it.
are we gonna have
If you don't
ownership? Wait a minute, are we gonna have ownership in
No,
it?
definitely.
We aren't gonna have ownership
I
in
know,
it.
that's what I was wondering, if you guys want to issue a bond for it.
I haven't seen today's article.
Yeah, I haven't looked up TIF bonds, I have no idea what a TIF bond was. So.
Why don't you leave your name and number with Yvonne, and we'll get back with you on that annexation, okay? Because I'm not exactly sure what needs to be
Well,
done.
I'm not blindsiding you.
Well,
No, that's okay, I don't mind that.
Well, and I think that Jim has a pretty good presentation regarding TIF financing and why municipalities offer that to developers.
Well, I understand, but why would it be bid to us? Because it's not a blighted area or anything like that.
Right, and that's, you,
I can understand the outcome ending, but.
My understanding is that if you're annexed, that the town has so many years, I think it's still so much time to be able to hook you up to sewer if somebody. I think there's a requirement on behalf of the town in any annexed, part of the town that we have to be able to provide those services.
Yeah, no, look up.
Yeah.
Give me your name and your number later on.
And our legal counsel's not here, so that's something that, we can have, therefore to look up the statute and how the annexation has changed, because it's not 100% that the interest, that it was the cost to us. It was also, the state law used to be that 100% of anyone in a neighborhood had to sign to be annexed. And so that's why the sort of Countryside or Brooklawn or whatever over the years was, there was no way.
Do you know what the new state's like, what percentage that's?
It's 51.
Oh, geez, that's much different.
And then it's 75% if it's
The value.
the value.
When did that?
Non-exempt.
March 1st, 2022, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
big difference.
But yeah, we'll send that on the, okay.
Any other comments?
I'm John Ryder. I live at 4321 West Cornerstone Drive. I built. I talked to Robert last week. He told me to attend tonight regarding my property on 30 East Mill Street and the extension of Maple Street, which is commonly known as an alley, but it is owned by the town. And I've been having issues with the neighbors for 6 years now regarding encroachment on that alley. And I brought pictures, and I have a plaque from Harold Gibson. I've got the the line at the top of pictures where the boundary talks to the road. I didn't know if this was when I should bring it up, and of course, bring that to the meeting, but I brought 3 copies of all the pictures and supporting that.
And what are the neighbors parking in that?
They're blocking it to where my garage actually faces Maple Street. This is north of Mill, and I've got a 21-foot truck in that garage, and they're encroaching, to the point where I can't get the truck in and out of the garage. I haven't left the garage since October, and I don't feel like, that I should have to call them every time I want to access my property. And Robert went out there last week. I called Jim and I said, they're parking in the alley again. He said, call the police. I did. He went out there last week. He banged on the front door. He banged on the back door. I know they were home. And they didn't answer. And I said, this is what I've been dealing with for 6 years. So I have a picture. I extended the parking area behind the garage because I just have one space to the north of the garage where I kept my flatbed. They put in a handicap ramp, which encroaches on the alley, where I couldn't I couldn't jack my flatbed in there anymore. So I added on the parking area. I made the parking area much bigger, probably 35 by 35. I dropped railroad ties right in the middle of the alley and asked Jim's permission to put the carport up, and I got it. And I spent $10,000 putting that carport up and 4 days of my life. And now it's there. So now they're encroaching really bad to where I can't get, anything in and out of there hardly. Trying to jack a trailer through there, it's difficult. So in the plans that I brought from Earl Houston, it shows the alley 16.5 foot wide. And like I said, this has been going on since October, so from what I understand, Jim has ordered a survey, and then we'll go from there. My problem is not from the north side of my garage or the railroad track. It's from the north side of my garage to the street. If it's truly 16.5 foot wide, I don't want to move my carport. I just spent all that money and all that time, but I just want them to comply, be good neighbors.
When you bring this up to them, what is their response?
Oh, well, we had it out. They moved their camper and to where they have plenty of parking now, because I made them get rid of their junk vehicle. Jim did. If they would just move things around, I've offered to help them move things around. They said I was intrusive. And I said, okay, I'm done. I said, I'm going with plan B. If you don't want to cooperate with me, I'm going to go the legal route.
So can I ask Mr. Ryder, is any part of your carport in the alley?
It is. I split it in half because they were parking on one half. I figured, well, if you're going to take half, I'll take the other half.
Here's a problem as I see it. That's a public alley. It hasn't been vacated. And I don't know if a request has ever been made to the town to vacate the alley. It also sounds like, and I'm just, maybe I'm assuming a lot of things here, if the alley were to be vacated, the property line would be the center of the alley, and each of the adjoining owners would acquire half, ownership up to the middle line.
And then you couldn't even drive up the alley if it's only 16
Well,
feet
then
wide.
there is no alley after
what I
that
mean.
point, once it's vacated. But years ago, if you look through town, the great majority of the alleys aren't alleys. They're public streets, they have names, they're on the street inventory. We get reimbursement from NDOT for maintenance expenses. And, having said that, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but if you're asking the town to enforce what the law is, I think the law is that's a public roadway. There can't be any structures in it. Nobody can park on it. So it's kind of it's going to hit both sides equally hard and that's why I asked if your carport extends into the alleyway, because if you want us to enforce what current law is, you're going to have to move your carport out of the alley, and likewise, the other neighbor can't park on a roadway. So we can put up no parking signs, we can tow vehicles, we can make that clear, And I don't know if that's what you're requesting, but I
You
think
have
it,
to go that far?
if you go that far, it has to be equally applied to both sides, and it's a public roadway. What you would be asking for is for us to treat it as a roadway, enforce it as a roadway, maintain it as a roadway, and that would mean no parking.
Right.
So, and now that might help with your access issues, because no vehicles from the neighbor could be in the roadway.
Right.
But it might hurt a little bit with the carport.
Well,
But-
I told Robert that I'm willing to move it.
Mhm.
That's probably not gonna be terribly easy. And I'm willing to extend my parking area to the west and to the north, which I probably should have done anyhow, but that's hindsight.
Well, have you ever had it surveyed?
I got a plat from Gibson that
Well-
I got my block property.
I think Jim has ordered a survey, 'cause after I spoke to you that day, I.
Yeah, but
instantly
sometimes,
went to Jim.
sometimes in town here, that survey, when they actually survey it, it might be a little different than you think.
Right.
So, yeah,
So we-
you're right. I spoke to Jim Robinson. As soon as I got off the phone with you, we had a conversation about we need to act on this. So Mike Gibson,
Yeah, I think so.
Mike?
Right, because Harold's no longer,
Yes, so I think he was gonna do a survey. I know that he ordered right then and there. Again, we just spoke about the same concerns you guys spoke about with the easement encroachment. The only other thing is in our parking schedule, we don't have Maple listed as like north of Mill Street, south of the CSX thing. So we probably need to add to our parking schedule as well.
Sure.
Shut that down.
Yeah, probably the first thing we need to do is get a survey on that to see where everything is.
Yeah, and it's coming.
Okay.
so it sounds like, and Jim's not here to add, but it sounds like we've ordered a survey, and that's really important, because like Clint said, sometimes folks think that they know
Yeah.
where the alley is, and then you find out that it may be not exactly where even it appears. It could be 2 feet off in either direction once it's surveyed. So we'd want to get it staked, and then make sure that we add it to the road inventory, make sure that it's on the parking schedule, because, in a situation like this, and I can't speak for anyone else, and it's not a motion before the council currently, but I think the entire roadway would be made a no parking area. And again, that's gonna help to some respect. And then as long as you don't have structures, and from what you said, it sounds like the carport's extended, but your garage isn't, is that
I would hope.
at least where we think the property line is? But again, that's why we need the survey, but it also sounds like Jim's working towards getting that, and then, we'll certainly see what we can do.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna get a survey, so then we'll know more about what's cooking.
I do have a question, kind of looking through, what about prescriptive easement? Is that all, because this has been there for,
Not on public grounds. So, and same thing with adverse possession. The legislature added a component that many neighbors aren't necessarily aware of, and that is for one party to claim adverse possession, they also have to pay the tax on the part. So you go to the county and you say, okay, here's the parcel that I own, I'll pay the tax on that, and bill me for 10 feet extra. Then you have to have paid taxes on the extra area that, and even if you have a fence, people think the fence line's a property line, and I've used it for 10 years, so it's mine, and that's no longer the case. So, but here, I think we're back to, you designate it as an alley, or roadway, roadway.
Right.
You treat it as a roadway. We then have to add it to a schedule of roadways that parking is not allowed, which in here, this screams of the situation that would warrant it being a no parking zone. I mean, not for 1 second would I want to tell you, you have to move your carport, but it's okay for the neighbor to park on half of the road, or all of the road, or any part of the road, 1 inch of the road. So, if we get involved, it's kind of an all or nothing. And now it's a roadway, and you can't park it.
It can also be varied from where you want it to stop. If we stopped it short, on the railroad tracks, and maintain it to that point.
Let's get it surveyed. and see
Yeah,
what's
well,
cooking,
yeah, I think we need the
because we don't
survey
know what we're
first.
looking at right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I brought some
Sure, if you want to leave and does Jim have copies of whatever you
I've
have?
been dealing with Jim on this since October.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's get the survey first.
So, John's property is here to the west, and then this is the property owner that they're having disagreements with.
And the property owner owns all, that's all there?
They own all back to that yellow line here, so that
Okay.
white line, that actually goes back to the CSA.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
So either way, if we take that road,
Mhm.
if the town maintains all the way back, both parties will be able to access. So you're not shutting off parking for either one, it's just no longer parking right in the road.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so it's that
That's gonna be Maple
Maple
Continued.
Alley, kind of Maple Continued is what we're talking. Maple Continued,
Right now, it's
okay.
just gravel and. it's
Gotcha,
been a
gravel,
while, so.
okay. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
I'm super proud.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and again, we'll coordinate with Jim and see what we can do. And I'm also assuming Jim has your contact information, doesn't he? Okay.
Probably doesn't know my phone number.
He might.
I see you at church every Sunday.
Well,
Is there anybody else that has public comment? Well, if there's no more public comments, we'll go to council comments. I don't have anything. How about you, Brandy?
Yeah, so I had talked last meeting about doing the town appreciation lunch because we really didn't have a holiday. We didn't have a holiday lunch plan, and I think we're all maybe a little more festive now. And it would be nice to put that together, so I moved forward with doing a little research based on Clint's, last meeting. And so there is a caterer that does stuff for the chamber and some others that does a really good job and is very reasonable. And she could do next Friday, the 10th, at like a luncheon. And she said just let her know the time. And so I was thinking 11:30 or noon. And the proposal to her was like either a Italian bar, and that kind of food, or like a nacho taco bar, like the theme of either one. So Italian would be like pasta with sauce, lasagna, bread salad, or the other nachos, taco, and then we would pitch in wise for the town employees. We would provide, or we'd have people pitch in the dessert, kind of do drinks, basic drinks or whatever, and paper goods I could do. But I'm thinking it's gonna be around $10 a person, which is very good for that kind of meal. So we're looking at maybe around a cost of $200 that we would need to cover. Approximately 200, might be 250, but that's what we're looking at. So just wanted to kind of see the feel of if that was cool with the town employees that are here. Do we know of anything major scheduled next Friday? I mean, may not be able to get 100%, but,
I'll be out of commission.
okay.
I'm going tomorrow, or Friday, to have my niece go. So,
Well, we could bring you a carryout. Can Denise be here and deliver you a plate? See, there you go. Look at that strategy.
Problem solved.
So, council, do you feel like that's reasonable fare? Would you all be able to stop in?
Be the first time I could make it.
Mm-hmm.
And not only will I gladly attend, but I'll make sure we find a way to fund it.
Okay.
Because if we can't, I will.
Or pitch in. Okay. Town employees that are here, does that sound festive? Mhm. Do you prefer the three of you that are here? You get to, Susie, sorry, you're back there hiding.
Big Susie pit.
So, yeah, so you get to choose between the Italian theme or the taco nacho bar theme, either one.
I will say we had the taco
Yeah.
bar at the
Chamber.
chamber meeting. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Can't go wrong with either one.
I know, that's why, and I have to be honest, I took the liberty of choosing those two options for the sake of ease and deliciousness, so,
Well, you're the organizer.
I know I'm the organizer, so you get to pick.
Tacos.
we need a,
Okay, Susie?
we don't need a formal motion,
No.
do we? Okay. All right, so next Friday is noon better than 11:30, or do you want to go with 11:30?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. What do you all think? What works best for you and your
Whenever
schedules?
you show up.
11:30.
11:30?
Get started.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. And then we'll touch base on bringing desserts and drinks and, okay.
Well, I offered at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I'll fill the room with chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I don't think Girl Scout cookies will be in yet.
I like her pies.
That's great.
Michelle's pie.
Oh, Jim has to make that apple pie. Okay, anyway,
That she
sorry.
gave
We have town business.
auctioned off at the wrestling meet.
Okay. Friday, February 10th, starting 11:30 here. Okay?
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Anything else, Randy?
I think I'm gonna I think I don't have anything else.
Bill?
Just a couple quick things. If you haven't noticed, Tony D's Restaurant is open. The food is fantastic. And also, I just wanted to mention, and sure probably everybody is aware, but, you know, the high school basketball team, the boys basketball team started their season 15-0. And this past Monday, the gym was completely packed. I made it to that game, and it was an amazing game. They lost by 1 point to Lawrence North, and Lawrence North is a perennial powerhouse. So, you know, for us to be within 1 point, heck, at halftime we had a big lead. We led up until the end of the fourth quarter of that basketball game. I just want to say how great it is to see, you know, a wonderful start to the season. We'll avenge that loss in the playoffs when it counts, but just it's amazing that the basketball team is off to such a great start, and I just wanted to comment on that. I have nothing else, thank you.
Chris?
I don't have anything today.
Well, that concludes all our agenda items. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I
Adjourned.
say, can I say a name?